Somerandomapnerd is a small Roblox YouTuber who posts primarily meme/gameplay videos, who is also a self-described nice and chill person. But this video will prove that this pervert is anything but. On March 13, 2026, during a heated argument Somerandomapnerd was in with Mbappesalt, PonFromRussia, and Toon in a Discord group chat, he realized they were starting to tell Leo, someone else who was in the group chat, the truth about the kind of person that he was. So Somerandomapnerd lured Leo, more commonly known as SchoolWork, his YouTube alias, into DMs so they could talk private. After luring SchoolWork away from the group chat, he began telling SchoolWork not to listen to or trust what anyone in the group chat was saying about him, and that all he really wanted to do was protect kids. He then said that there were no allegations, likely meaning proof, of him doing bad things, and that he was the only one who understood him, a common grooming tactic. This tactic is used to isolate and make victims feel dependent on the groomer, as they've created the idea that they are the only ones who can really help you, so you'll have no one else to turn to. He then told SchoolWork that he'd help in an online feud he was in. That he first needed to leave the group chat, another isolation tactic, because Mbappe and Toon were apparently blackmailing him, and that they were planning to torment him later. This falls under isolation, but is more specifically alienation. The groomer attempts to turn the victim against the people within their inner circle to make the victim dependent on them, and to get anyone that could help the victim realize the truth about the unhealthy relationship out of the picture. After continuing to tell SchoolWork not to trust them, and that they do bad to him, SchoolWork was still clearly unsure about anything Somerandomapnerd was saying, and unsure if he could truly trust him yet, rightfully so. So Somerandomapnerd began trying to manipulate SchoolWork, saying don't tell me you actually believe what they're saying about me, then began trying to build a bond, saying I trust you so trust me. Before he began demanding again that he block all of them, now, before they blackmail him more. When SchoolWork then asked how Somerandomapnerd would even help him, he said he'd protect SchoolWork from all of the sinners, and take their bullets. He told SchoolWork that they, Mbappe and Toon, were only calling him a groomer because they hated him, and that he wasn't really one. Somerandomapnerd then asked SchoolWork, they made us suffer, they traumatized us, they left us with nothing. Don't you agree? To make SchoolWork feel as if he could relate to him, to further the bond and emotional connection he was attempting to create, by making him feel understood. Then when SchoolWork agreed that they had both been through a lot, Somerandomapnerd suggested that they make propaganda on Toon, and Mbappe. He then began attempting to use SchoolWork, requesting that SchoolWork ask to sign a contract that would apparently end the drama, but of course it was later revealed Somerandomapnerd was attempting to pull a bait and switch, and that he wanted SchoolWork to help him manipulate When SchoolWork asked what exactly Apnerd wanted him to do, he said be dramatic, coaching him on what to do. Somerandomapnerd then again began demanding that SchoolWork leave the group chat and block all of them, or else they blackmail him, and that SchoolWork should trust him, continuing to try and isolate him and alienate his peers. SchoolWork of course kept dodging the blocking requests, likely because he was still unsure about everything, but Somerandomapnerd continued to pressure him into doing it, saying things like please and I'm trying to save you. While this conversation was going on, someone in the group chat had sent SchoolWork an invite to a Discord server that Somerandomapnerd was also in, and he accepted it. Somerandomapnerd then said, I told you not to join any groups, and told him to go leave it. After SchoolWork left the group, Somerandomapnerd, again, began demanding that SchoolWork block them. Because SchoolWork wasn't complying, Somerandomapnerd said, I know you still have them added. Actually block them now. SchoolWork nervously continued to dodge the question, asking Somerandomapnerd what would happen after he blocked them. Realizing his requests were being ignored, Somerandomapnerd asked, Leo, why are you not blocking them? SchoolWork compromised by saying he had blocked one of them, to which Somerandomapnerd said no. Once he realized SchoolWork wasn't listening, he said fine, I guess. Somerandomapnerd finally stopped asking him to block them, but instead asked SchoolWork to comment on the channel of someone named RiceY, and tell them to add him on Discord. SchoolWork asked why Somerandomapnerd couldn't do it himself, to which Apnerd said it was hard to explain, but that SchoolWork needed to do it ASAP, and that he was leaving. Then, the conversation ended. Leo later admitted that the entire situation made him uncomfortable. From Somerandomapnerd first moving Leo away from the public group chat into a private DM when his weird behavior was being revealed, isolation, to begging SchoolWork to block everyone besides himself, a classic online grooming and overall isolation tactic, to framing himself as the only one who really understands SchoolWork and that everyone else was bad and trying to manipulate, blackmail and torment him, to villainize and make him distrustful of his peers, to trying to persuade SchoolWork into manipulating others, to trying to bond with him through apparently shared experiences of being unfairly targeted by the people around them, an obvious us against the world manipulation tactic to make him feel understood. This entire situation was concerning to say the least, and a textbook image of grooming in the initial stages. First, finding a target and identifying a vulnerability, which in this case, would be Leo getting bullied by those around him. Second, building trust/bonding, and third, encouraging secrecy, isolation, before moving into progressively more dangerous territory. But unfortunately, this was not the end. Somerandomapnerd added Leo, SchoolWork, into a Discord group chat with himself and Toon, to gather evidence that he hadn't groomed him. He immediately assured SchoolWork that everything was okay, and that it was safe here, since and Mbappe weren't in the group chat. When SchoolWork asked what the group chat was, Apnerd immediately cut to the chase and said, I'm just asking, am I grooming you? Toon, clearly seeing what Somerandomapnerd was doing, wanted him to leave SchoolWork alone and said, let Leo leave the drama OMG, to which Somerandomapnerd disregarded him and said, let Leo speak first. Toon then responded, he doesn't even know you're grooming him, which is true. Somerandomapnerd's method of obtaining proof was weak and flawed from the start, because grooming victims rarely understand or know that they were or are being groomed until later down the line, which is the entire point of the manipulative process. To build your trust and lower your guard/desensitize you so that they can exploit you and make it harder for you to identify future manipulation. SchoolWork finally spoke and said, you're losing fans, and it's making you suffer, sympathizing with him. Apnerd agreed and said it was true. SchoolWork then concerningly defended him and said that he didn't believe Somerandomapnerd was grooming and that all he wanted was support, which is exactly what Apnerd wanted him to believe. Toon then interjected and said Somerandomapnerd was only losing fans because he was a bad person. Somerandomapnerd denied it and said that the real groomer took his fans. The real groomer was apparently Visper, despite no evidence or victim accounts to back up his claims. Though of course, this wasn't specified in the moment, so SchoolWork asked who the real groomer was. Toon, witnessing the manipulation in real time, immediately warned SchoolWork that Somerandomapnerd was trying to manipulate him. His warning was ignored as Somerandomapnerd asked his next question. Am I isolating you from your family or relatives? Somerandomapnerd purposefully asked specifically phrased questions instead of broad ones, because he knew if he asked the question regularly, he wouldn't get the answers he wanted. So instead of questions like did I isolate you, he asks questions like did I isolate you from your family or relatives? Isolation is isolation, regardless of who it's from. SchoolWork responded to his question by saying, I mean you told me to block people, but you said that it was because they will hurt me. So I don't know if that's isolating. Apnerd said, yes, but they're not your relatives. I'm asking if I'm isolating you from people close to you. Not even denying that he was attempting to isolate him, just saying that it wasn't from his relatives, as if that somehow made it better. Toon spoke up again and advised, Leo, block all of us and leave the GC. Apnerd then said don't say that you're making him scared. Toon continued to advise SchoolWork to leave before Somerandomapnerd could manipulate him any further. Toon said Leo, leave the drama. Things got even more strange and weird when Somerandomapnerd then, questionably said, that's a child, don't hurt him bro, implying that Toon was trying to which Toon was understandably confused. Somerandomapnerd then guiltily removed Toon from the group chat, isolating Leo from the people that were trying to help him once again, so that they could talk privately. He then began assuring him that he wasn't there to say anything bad to him, and that he just wanted to comfort him. SchoolWork thanked him, to which Somerandomapnerd asked once again, am I isolating you from relatives, close ones and family? SchoolWork was clearly still unsure, so he said, I don't think so. Apnerd asked, so that's a no, to which SchoolWork gave in and said yeah. Somerandomapnerd pressured SchoolWork into asking strict yes or no questions, even while he was still clearly confused about everything, so that he could post it to his channel and clear his name. Somerandomapnerd's next question was, did I ever try to lure you or send inappropriate messages or pictures to you? SchoolWork then responded and said not at that, not yet, but Pon said that you wanted to gain my trust first before that, which again is true. Groomers almost never start by acting blatantly predatory. The second stage of grooming, next to first gaining access to you, is to build your trust up over a period of time, by initially appearing kind, helpful and supportive. Somerandomapnerd then admitted that he did want SchoolWork to trust him, but claimed he wouldn't exploit him. He then asked the question again, did I ever do that to you? Did I ever exploit you and tell you to do inappropriate stuff? Which he then seconds later changed to, or like do really bad stuff, since he likely knew his requests had crossed the line of inappropriate quite a while ago. SchoolWork responded saying, well, they said that you were making me help the manipulation. Somerandomapnerd then said yes, admitting that he had made SchoolWork assist him in manipulating others, but claimed it wasn't to do really bad stuff. He asked SchoolWork again, what do you say, yes or no? Still pressuring him into giving a definite yes or no. SchoolWork answered, I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Apologizing for his completely justified uncertainty. SchoolWork later on said, I don't know, it is all really confusing, I'm uncomfortable, so I'm just going to leave. And then, the conversation ended. The two still unfortunately keep in contact. Somerandomapnerd's entire goal with this was to manipulate SchoolWork into admitting he wasn't groomed so that he could post it to his channel as proof and prove to everyone that he was not a predator, which he did, in this post that reads, proof the person that I was accused of grooming denied that I did it, plus I'm only giving him suggestions to leave the drama to have a better life. Wow, he denied it after you kept pressuring answers out of him? Very solid proof, some random manipulation nerd. But clearly, him isolating SchoolWork was not simply a thing of the past, as on June 4, 2026, Mbappe and Toon were both blocked by SchoolWork on Discord, with identical, clearly scripted responses. Everyone already assumed Somerandomapnerd was behind it, but no screenshots were provided to prove it, until July 2, 2026, where SchoolWork posted a video called Apnerd Messages, showing his DMs with Somerandomapnerd. At 5:57 in the video, you can see Somerandomapnerd once again, manipulating SchoolWork into believing that everyone is against him, and that it would be better if he just blocked everyone. He also made SchoolWork sign a contract of brothership, that essentially means that SchoolWork cannot leave his side. It was also revealed after this that Somerandomapnerd said that he must know before SchoolWork joins any groups, which is very clearly controlling. Under one of SchoolWork's videos, he also referred to himself as SchoolWork's hero, which showcases their creepy relationship dynamic. Him as SchoolWork's savior, and SchoolWork as the helpless victim. And while Somerandomapnerd had originally claimed that the contract simply meant that him and SchoolWork would always defend each other during one of his power trips, Somerandomapnerd made the implicit explicit, as he said that since SchoolWork signed the contract, he was under my control, basically admitting what we already knew, that he was manipulating him. He later attempted to backtrack and edited the post to say, since he signed the contract, he is now with me and it is my responsibility to protect him. When confronted about what he had said, he first tried to act confused as if he had never said it. But once he was informed that I had a screenshot of it, he switched the excuse to it was a grammar mistake. Right, a grammar mistake that makes you say you're controlling a child, happens to the best of us. In SchoolWork's video showing his DMs with Somerandomapnerd, there were many cuts, which raised more concerns. If nothing bad was happening, why would he feel the need to try and conceal parts of it? If Somerandomapnerd's predatory nature wasn't obvious to you yet, it will be as we move into the next section. Somerandomapnerd is notorious for his shamelessly inappropriate and predatory remarks, mostly towards children. One of the most recent and notable instances being where Somerandomapnerd started targeting another YouTuber, Mbappesalt, who he knows as a child, with perverted jokes. Somerandomapnerd has referred to her as a temptation numerous times, along with constantly shipping her with another YouTuber, Trainsalt, who is around the same age, despite Albina and Trainsalt voicing many times that he was making them uncomfortable, and wanted him to stop. As if that wasn't already creepy enough, Somerandomapnerd showed everyone just how degenerate he truly was when he photoshopped Trainsalt next to Epstein. Yes, photoshopping literal children next to photos of one of the most notorious sex offenders in history. But of course he didn't stop there, making yet another one, this time with Albina, and a bottle of baby oil next to her. After that, he made yet another perverted post that reads, Trainsalt will name his baby that will soon come with Albina Gary, but Albina is mad at Trainsalt that they can't have kids because he keeps using protection. Reminder, he is talking about 2 children here. He then made another post about the 2 that reads, I think you and Albina are having fun in the train ride, I saw you 2 unwrapping some gifts, and you 2 were so happy, with a winking emoji. The implications of that post were clear and disgusting. He then made yet another post that reads, such memories where Albina and Trainsalt made their baby in the hotel, and also the mall they came to, so sweet, with a picture of a mall that Trainsalt has visited, blocked. He claims he found this information through the background of one of Trainsalt's videos, which is just creepy in itself. He then made another AI post, this time of Trainsalt on one knee proposing to Albina. He has also repeatedly asked to be the godfather of Albina and Trainsalt's supposed child, along with telling Albina to go keep making love to Trainsalt, and that he supposedly had proof of Albina in bed with Trainsalt. His frequent sexual jokes involving children are downright disturbing. Along with all of this, he made a very unsettling AI video, with Trainsalt's actual face, again a child, of him admitting that he was dating Albina, and that they played a game in her wonderful cave.
I like people, yes, it's true, I like Albina, and she does like me too. We did play the game with her wonderful cave, and yes, everything what Apnerd said is true. So yeah, that's all, bye.
This is also not the first time that he has mentioned Albina's apparent, wonderful cave. He also, creepily, threatened to make a part 2 if Trainsalt didn't admit he was dating Albina. Imagine someone having your face and threatening to, or having the ability to, make you say things that you'd never say otherwise if you don't comply with their weird requests. Regardless, running a child's face and voice through an AI is weird in itself. He has made many other weird perverted/suggestive comments towards Albina, Trainsalt, and in general. Here are some more examples. And many more. Despite being asked many times to stop and being told by others that he is making them uncomfortable, he continues. In fact, expressing to him that his behavior is making you feel any sort of negative emotion only seems to make him want to double down on it, no matter how predatory it makes him look. He sees it as some sort of accomplishment. He is completely remorseless, and that will be further shown as the video goes on. As if all of this wasn't already crossing the line, Somerandomapnerd decided to go to the point of absolutely no return when he doxed Trainsalt. In fact, this was not the first time that he had done this. When he first doxed Trainsalt, he took down the original post, and made a follow-up post stating, I took the post down since you saw it and now you know what's gonna happen, followed by a smiling face. This post was clearly meant to intimidate him. He then made another post saying, how me and the boys be pulling up to at Beware of copyright salt. After that, he made another post saying, do you guys have Discord? I have important news about Trainsalt. I found something on Google Maps, attempting to share the information with his friends. Despite doing all of this, he claimed that he hadn't doxed him, that he wouldn't post the address and that he would just keep it to himself in case it needed to be given to the authorities, and that we were the ones causing him emotional distress. Moving on, fast forward 2 weeks, and he posts the address again, saying I should visit 37 Road soon. He then made another post a couple of minutes later that said going downtown to Road gonna have myself a time, with a picture of Trainsalt's house. When Prolapse made a post calling him out for this that said, self-proclaimed savior of the internet is doxing children now, Somerandomapnerd shared the post and responded by saying, I would never do such a thing to a person. This is legitimate fraud. I just want to show my dream place where I want to go in the future and you're making fantasies about it. I just want to stay at 37 to the UK to live my life since it's near Paris and it's beautiful. So he was now claiming again that he had never doxed him and that he was just putting a place in the UK that he wanted to visit. Interesting. Typically, when people say that they want to visit a city, country, ECT, they don't put a specific home address that they want to go to within the city. Unless, of course, you're visiting someone. Additionally, why would he want to stay at some ordinary occupied home in a random city in England? This excuse is genuinely absurd. But unfortunately, all of this harassment eventually led to Trainsalt deleting his account, which Somerandomapnerd began gloating about and proudly taking full credit for. Yes, he was proud of himself for bullying and harassing a child off of the internet. Genuinely deplorable behavior. And though Trainsalt's post is now deleted, Somerandomapnerd claimed that Trainsalt turned him into this monster, and basically implied that him doxing him wouldn't have happened if he had left him alone. Insanity. Keep in mind, his feud with Trainsalt started because Trainsalt didn't believe him when he said he wasn't a bad person, obviously. He did all of this because one person didn't believe he was a good person, and funnily enough, all that this did was prove Trainsalt right. Somerandomapnerd briefly nicknamed Toon Corn Pork, meant to be Porn Pork, as he said that Toon was going to be a porn star if he didn't join his side. He has also called others porn lovers/watchers on numerous occasions, mostly children. A notable instance being where he was in a DM with Pon and then weirdly started saying porn lover ha, you love porn, ha, porn lover, hee haha, you love porn, kiss Mbappesalt nuts. He also once posted a picture of Visper's face in a group chat and said, just look, he looks like a guy that watches corn, very odd thing to say about a child. To which someone else in the group chat said, okay, a little far, he's a kid. To which Pon added on and said, the amount of screenshots he has of kids is a bit disturbing, which is very true. The amount of pictures this guy sends of random little kids in group chats shows he clearly has a collection. Although Somerandomapnerd claims all of the photos of children he has are of Visper, which is simply not true, you can tell the difference between the kids in the photos. And even if they were all really Visper, he acts as if that clarification somehow makes it not weird. Having dozens of photos saved in your computer of some random kid you have beef with is obsessive and creepy. Another time, when Visper told him to admit to all the allegations like a man, Somerandomapnerd told him, cut your die and cut the lies. Another time, he said that PonFromRussia only had one ball, Mbappe had two, but they were very small, and Toon had something similar, to which Pon asked why he was describing people's genitals. Why is he always talking about genitalia? Something tells me this guy's search history is probably horrifying. On another occasion, Pon had blocked him, but then unblocked him, to which Somerandomapnerd sent her a message saying, why did you unblock me porn lover, followed by an extremely suggestive image. How often this guy talks about and projects porn and 18+ content/topics onto children is downright disturbing. Another time, he joined Mbappe's Discord server on his Royals account to raid it, and sent 4 messages that read, leave this group before it's too late, leave if you don't want these pedos to groom you and put die, leave or you'll end up like this die lover, followed by a suggestive picture of Toon with edited blush onto his face. Another time, some random AP nerd made an Epstein edit of someone's mother because they disagreed with him, and I'm not even joking. The post has now been deleted, but he was arguing with a YouTuber named Muffmobile, and then mid-argument, threatened to make an edit of his mother. Muff had old videos of his mother up on his channel, assuming it used to be her channel. Of course, he actually went through with it, taking a video that Muff had up on his channel of his mother and sister playing musical chairs and making it into a Jeffrey Epstein edit. Yeah. The video is presumably supposed to be shaming her for being a teen mom, or implying that Muffmobile's dad is Epstein for getting a 17-year-old pregnant. I don't even know, but regardless of what this is supposed to mean, making a literal Epstein edit of someone's mother because they made you a little mad is beyond disgusting, as is everything else this guy does. I'm sure it would be extremely unsettling to anyone to see someone put your mother in an edit with Epstein. Everything with this guy is sexual, and it's always towards children. Somerandomapnerd sent a message in a group alleging that someone had said Visper tried to rape a woman, but his little ding-a-ling was so small that he squeezed the yolk out of it, and Visper was moaning like a sheep. Another instance of Somerandomapnerd's predatory behavior was when he sent a cartoon pornographic image to Toon, another child, on his Royals account. He sent Toon a message that read, "F*** you dumb pedo-ass dick licker, enjoy your one dick porn ass," followed by an explicit picture of Tony Chopper from One Piece. As well as that, Somerandomapnerd has joked many times about me watching the Duck Hub, an obvious reference to Pornhub. On another occasion, Somerandomapnerd joked about me having a delusional obsession on D-ducks, cutting himself off before saying the word dick. He has also talked about me going to Duck Island, a reference to Epstein Island, which he seems to have a really weird fixation on. Mbappesalt confronted him, saying, "I've noticed that you seem to reference 18+ content quite a lot. Sure, that's not the kind of stuff you're into, Krosky." To which Somerandomapnerd responded saying, "I'm an adult, I'm free to make adult jokes, and it's really not that dirty. Go mind your own business, dirty-minded pervert." Ironic. Moving on, I responded and said, "Yeah, you're an adult, but I'm 15, so your frequent Duck Hub comments along with talking about my obsession on D-ducks just makes you look like a pervert. Even if I was an adult, that would still be weird. Being an adult doesn't give you a pass to make weird sexual implications about everyone around you, which goes without saying." He then responded to my comment, acknowledged I was a minor, and then proceeded to once again start talking about me making a Duck Hub about me biting on D-ducks. And then on another occasion, he started talking about my lust with ducks. But obviously this wasn't the only time that he had made jokes like this, as he had made similar jokes about Trainsalt, joking that he should go watch the Geometry Hub. Trainsalt is known to like Geometry Dash, which is the punchline of the joke. Somerandomapnerd also said that Pawn should go have say gex with one of her friends, Dogs. Dogs is 18, and Pawn is 14. There was also another instance, where Apnerd made a wildly inappropriate and uncalled for joke about a YouTuber named Mbappesalt, whom is 10 years old, who was just simply trying to show off his rubber duck collection to me. Apnerd joked that Flippy rubbed the ducks on his balls every day. He also made a post about Mbappesalt, where he clearly states that Mbappe is 15 years old. And then in the next sentence, he proceeds to start weirdly talking about Mbappesalt's ball hair. When confronted about the perverted remarks he was making, he acknowledged nobody else, but said that Toon specifically deserved it. But arguably, one of the worst things here was when Somerandomapnerd threatened to make and distribute CP. Note, these are the only screenshots I was given, and some parts seem to be missing, so I'll fill it in as best as I can. On May 10, 2026, while conversing in a group chat, Somerandomapnerd sent a screenshot from a video with text that reads, "My sister roasts Somerandomapnerd," with a very young child in the background. He followed up that screenshot with two messages that read, "She's on the bed," and "How was the boom boom?" seemingly implying that since the girl in the video was on the bed, her and Toon had sex. Toon, who was obviously just as disgusted as everyone else, said, "Imagine making an adult and minors doing sex," to which Somerandomapnerd responded, saying it was karma, that he wasn't wrong for doing what he was doing, and that Toon deserved it. No denial that he was attempting to make explicit content of children, just claiming that it was justified in some sick way. He followed that up by saying, "Get karma for all you've done to this world," and saying that he would upload the video of the child to Pornhub. And in this reply that seems to be cut out, he also said that presumably Toon's little cousin would be sucking him, to which Dogs told him to keep his incest fantasies to himself. Actually disgusting. The fact that he was even attempting to defend anything he was saying is mind-boggling. Then in Discord DMs while talking with Albina, when Albina denied that Visper was a predator, because there is literally no evidence or any victim accounts to support this narrative besides fabricated screenshots with no source, and he refuses to show a source, Somerandomapnerd responded with, "Okay, enjoy getting shipped to a 5-star luxury island just to massage Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy while they touch your public's pubics, and you're never going to come back from the island, and Trainsalt will never touch you again, LMAO. And don't forget if you bite them when they touch you they'll just remove your teeth, or cook you so you'll look like a roasted pig," followed by a smiling emoji. He followed all of that up with an even creepier message that read, "Poor you, these pedos will make you suck with vodka." Again, keep in mind, he is sending all of this to a young girl. Visper himself also claims that Somerandomapnerd sent him explicit content. Somerandomapnerd's many disgusting predatory perverted remarks showcases not only his perverted mindset, but also how far he is willing to go just to feel as if he's won this situation and has the upper hand. But Somerandomapnerd's disgusting character only begins to reveal itself more and more as we move into the next section. Somerandomapnerd infamously DM'd Gore to Toon, causing him to feel mental and emotional distress. Being sent Gore at random can obviously be traumatizing and highly disturbing. Toon was only able to retrieve very few of the pictures he was sent by Somerandomapnerd. Toon went into further detail about the pictures he was sent, saying that while he wasn't able to get a screenshot, one of the people in the images he was sent looked burned, and that another was in half and the organs looked rotten. Somerandomapnerd apparently said the burned one was a Pokemon fan that was hating on him. Toon also claims that Somerandomapnerd made NSFW art of a penis with anti-prolapse on the front, another one of Somerandomapnerd's rivals, and used it on one of his alternate accounts. Additionally, Somerandomapnerd has made many threats to Toon, one instance being where he told Toon he'd give him the death fruit if he didn't join his side. He also threatened to shoot Toon and his dogs, saying, "Kiss my MP53 bullet that I'll be using to shoot your dogs, lil UNC, and you're so cooked." And then another time where Somerandomapnerd attempted to threaten/coerce Toon into joining his side, sending him an unhinged message that reads, "Listen here, Toon, I will ruin your fucking reputation if you don't sign this treaty. If you can't join us I must do it by force. Go snitch on me to Apnerd, he may get mad but I don't care." Referring to himself in the third person because he originally was trying to act as if the Royal So's account didn't belong to him, likely to avoid responsibility. For the things he was saying, it's either you join us or get fucking ass busted and your whole life ruined by some fucking pedophile, presumably Visper. If you're not going to join us just admit to me you're just begging for those gay kids. Be a fucking man and join us, don't be a sucker. Look at your gay PFB. Don't let me bet my ass you're gay, just join the fucking side. The treaty in question is the same exact treaty he made SchoolWork sign. When Toon eventually blocked him on Discord, Somerandomapnerd called him a coward who probably likes kids, randomly accusing someone of being a pedophile because they blocked you, which he then apologized for just 2 hours later, and asked Toon to add him back. As of making this, both posts are still up. How credible and mentally stable are you if you shamelessly throw serious accusations like this in response to simply being blocked? Another time, Somerandomapnerd said everyone would get death fruits if Toon didn't join him. Somerandomapnerd has repeatedly harassed Toon, insisting that Toon join his side, and even going as far as to say that he wouldn't end the situation until Toon joined him, despite Toon asking many times to be left alone or ignoring him entirely, which sends a very clear message. And this isn't even half of the times he's harassed Toon. He seems to have a very strong resentment against, or more so a fixation on Toon specifically for some reason. Keep in mind, Toon actually used to be a fan of him. In fact, on an occasion where Toon asked to be left alone, Somerandomapnerd said that he was giving Toon orders since Toon was a loyal fan of his. Who orders around their own fans as if they own them? And that since Toon asked to be left alone, he'd leave him alone for a week only, as long as Toon didn't do anything stupid. He followed that up with not to threaten you, but if you say one more time that I blackmail you, I'll show you what is real blackmail. On another occasion he messaged Toon, telling him don't say to that guy that you were lying and to go goon with Visper, and then block him. And I know if you've blocked him or not, I'm watching you. He then followed that original statement up with an angry message in all caps that read, dude, I know you're still added to him, block him already. And then once Toon, presumably blocked whoever Somerandomapnerd was asking him to block, he said good fan, now send me a screenshot of what you sent to him. Toon went offline, likely because he was uncomfortable, to which Somerandomapnerd messaged him again and said, yeah, keep going offline bud. And this doesn't even begin to cover all of the times that he has harassed Toon, including Somerandomapnerd making dozens of community posts targeting him. He also made a disgusting comment towards a YouTuber named Code Creeps, claiming he'd upload a video of Code's dog being run over by a car. Somerandomapnerd has also harassed Antiprolapse in DMs, sending him a degrading message that read, admit to me you're a dog that lets Visper hold its leash, and you'll bark for him, because you're nothing but a freak to humanity, you have depression and a phobia of losing friends, I'm going to expose them your struggles, to the public. Along with all of this, Somerandomapnerd also subtly threatened Visper, sending him a message with several places that he had visited in real life that read, by the way I'm in the Philippines right now so good luck, just waiting for my fans back, BTW I've noticed you go to 24344414, I'm always there buddy, I'll be watching, followed by a winking emoji. This creepy DM sends a very clear threatening message. Imagine someone who has been harassing you for months suddenly sending you a list of places you visited. That would be terrifying. But if it wasn't obvious already, Somerandomapnerd has relentlessly harassed Visper, viewing Visper as his arch-rival, and one of, if not the primary reason for the downfall of his channel, because he refuses to take accountability for his own role in that outcome. He has harassed Visper many times through strange community posts, along with harassing him in private DMs, a notable instance being where Somerandomapnerd messaged him, strangely asking Visper to tell him his parents' name. When Visper didn't respond, Somerandomapnerd messaged him again saying, dude, do you want to be next or what? Then when Visper eventually responded and said, I ain't telling you my parents' name obviously, Somerandomapnerd responded, okay, so do you want me to cut your feet? And another time, Somerandomapnerd threatened to take out one of his rivals XLOL_bacon if Visper kept fighting to get subs, then demanded that Visper quit YouTube and delete all of his videos to prevent that outcome. He then proceeded to weirdly ask for the password to Visper's YouTube channel, to which Visper understandably refused. But Apnerd was persistent and further begged that Visper give it to him, even after repeatedly being told no. Somerandomapnerd later returned to the private conversation to send another deranged message that read, do you want me to cut your feet, then your hands, then your legs, then your arms, then your balls, then let you bleed to death, followed by a smiling face, attempting to intimidate Visper into giving in. Apnerd then followed that up with a very questionable request, asking Visper to record a voice clip of himself saying hello to Pokemon PP Lover. The most obvious trap in history, this clip would have likely been used for something perverted had Visper actually recorded it. Another time, when Visper mentioned converting to Catholicism, Somerandomapnerd said that he had actually converted to Satanism, and could go kiss Satan's boobs. Along with all of this, he has also leaked Visper's face and real name numerous times, along with demanding that Visper give his fans that he apparently stole back. They left on their own because they realized he was a weirdo, along with making several community posts harassing Visper. He has also continually, and baselessly might I add, called Visper a predator/groomer, and compared Visper to Jeffrey Epstein, as mentioned earlier in the video. Visper had actually originally left the situation for quite a while, but only came back due to Somerandomapnerd continuing to make several community posts harassing him and practically begging for his attention, despite being ignored for months, and making an entire video on him Visper, that was debunked within days of its release, might make a separate video on that. Keep in mind, he was doing all of this towards a man that had been ignoring him for months. It's an obsession at this point. But if it wasn't obvious at this point, Somerandomapnerd is notorious for threatening/attempting to coerce others, another instance being where he attempted to emotionally blackmail Mbappesalt into backing out of releasing the Somerandomapnerd Files, the Google document we originally released. Mbappesalt made a Discord poll asking if he should release the Apnerd files, to which Somerandomapnerd responded with a collage of screenshots of things that PonFromRussia had said about religion, she's an atheist, and insults that Pon had said towards him. He told Mbappe that if he released the document, he'd release those screenshots, therefore if Mbappe released the document, he'd be betraying his friends. If he was truly innocent as he claims, why would he need to try and silence us and prevent the release of the document? It should all be easily disprovable lies anyways, right? On another occasion, he threatened to ruin Pon's channel piece by piece if she tried anything. And this isn't the only time Apnerd has threatened Pon, another occurrence being where Apnerd said that if Pon thought about staying in the drama once a treaty was signed, she'd get actual blackmail, and would be cooked. Jesus, what is it with this guy and treaties and contracts? The treaty he's referencing here is completely separate from the contract we previously discussed, but we'll touch more on it later. And then another time where Somerandomapnerd threatened Pon, saying that if certain information about him wasn't deleted from a video being made on him, that it would be a big mistake, and that it would be used against her. And then another instance where Somerandomapnerd guilt-tripped Visper while impersonating Zombo on Discord. Visper said Zombo I'm sorry, to which Apnerd responded and said, say sorry MF he will be gone just wait. Visper, this is Zombo speaking, I trusted you. "You lied to me, why did you lie to me, I hate you," to which Visper, likely out of guilt, said, "Alright, I'm complying," with whatever Apnerd wanted him to comply with. Apnerd then said that if Tom didn't comply as well, he was cooked. This is not even close to everyone or every time that Somerandomapnerd has harassed, manipulated, or threatened others within his time on the platform, but these are some of the most notable instances. Many screenshots also weren't able to be retrieved due to Somerandomapnerd deleting DMs and community posts to conceal evidence, and account bans. After all of this, there is no doubt left about the kind of person that he is morally, and where his credibility stands. He is very comfortable with harming others to make himself feel powerful. There is no limit to how far he'll go, as long as it benefits him. Although before we fully move into the next section, I'd like to touch on the treaty that was mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, a lot of the evidence from this situation has been deleted, so I don't have many screenshots. But this was so absurd that it feels wrong to not mention it and let it be swept under the rug. Okay, rewind a couple of months, and Somerandomapnerd was claiming that he wanted to end the drama, and that someone from our side had to sign a treaty, on behalf of all of us, that agreed to end the situation. Sort of like a peace deal. If the treaty was broken, we would face the consequences. The original terms of the treaty were, 1. All salts, sugars, and Team Apnerd should follow this order or they will be punished. 2. We are not allowed to make rants about each other, create hate groups, or comment bad stuff in our channels. 3. PonFromRussia must leave this drama. 4. We mind our dramas, you fight the people you used to fight with and I fight Visper. 5. I, Somerandomapnerd, will apologize to some people, notice he says some, that I called them bad stuff which I know is wrong. And 6. We delete all of our hate posts about each other. But, he then later removed Rule 3. Moving on, he first asked someone named Muffmobile to sign it, and he declined. He then asked someone named Mysterious Bubble to sign it, he declined. He also, of course, asked Pon to sign the contract several times, who obviously declined. This is the same contract that he was asking SchoolWork to help him manipulate Pon into signing earlier, if you remember. Everyone was declining to sign it not out of a desire to keep the situation going, but because Somerandomapnerd is clearly not trustworthy, and we all knew that there would be some sort of catch to the treaty. It's never just that easy with him. Additionally, by this point, this had already escalated far past a drama, and we weren't just going to stop talking about this and let it be covered up / silenced because he apparently wanted peace. He had already made his bed. But then Mbappesalt, who reminder is 10 years old, asked if he could sign the contract, because he likely believed that signing it would genuinely end the situation and bring peace. He didn't understand the extent of the situation or why everyone else was declining to sign it, and that's exactly what Somerandomapnerd was looking for. Someone naive enough to actually believe anything he was saying. So Mbappesalt signs the contract, and then Somerandomapnerd immediately reveals that there were hidden terms, which we all saw coming, saying that there was writing that could be barely seen on the treaty that Mbappesalt had now unknowingly agreed to or endorsed, and all of us apparently had to follow it unless we wanted consequences, since Mbappe signed it on behalf of everyone. Mbappe then commented on one of Somerandomapnerd's posts and said, "I signed it, do we not have peace? Like did you lie?" Clearly confused. By this point, he had likely began to realize that he had been deceived. So now he was in a position where he felt like everything that happened next would be his fault, and that everyone was mad at him and blamed him for it since he was the one who signed the treaty, even though he didn't, which is terrible stress to put on a 10-year-old. If I remember correctly, 1 or 2 people even commented on one of Mbappessalt's posts expressing annoyance or disappointment at him signing it, which probably just made him feel even worse than he already did. And just to rub it in further, Somerandomapnerd told Mbappe that it was too late to pull out of the treaty. And while Mbappe had already said that he planned to step away from the situation soon, the pressure of this specific incident definitely sped up the process, leading to Mbappesalt not only leaving the situation, but deleting the majority of his content and quitting YouTube entirely. In deleted community posts, Mbappesalt had also talked about wanting to kill himself due to all of the drama occurring. It must be admitted that Somerandomapnerd was not the sole cause, but 1,000,000% a major contributing factor / figure in this outcome, as that entire ordeal understandably overwhelmed Mbappesalt. This was the second child that Somerandomapnerd had tried to trap in his weird contracts. Somerandomapnerd's good guy mask just slips even further as we move into the next section. Somerandomapnerd has displayed his hateful attitude many times, a primary example being the numerous times he has made fun of PonFromRussia for being transgender, even going as far as to nickname her Pon from Gayland, along with frequently using gay as an insult, which is honestly just immature. But Somerandomapnerd claims that he's not hostile towards the rest of the LGBTQ+ community, only PonFromRussia. As well as that, he has repeatedly mocked Pon's alcoholic father, along with making fun of his absence many times. Separately, Somerandomapnerd had previously mocked individuals that struggled with suicidal thoughts. When confronted by Visper, Apnerd issued no apology, called Visper dramatic, and completely disregarded him, clearly feeling no guilt for what he had said. On a separate occasion, Somerandomapnerd made a post with Trainsalt's face, comparing Trainsalt to Rumpelstiltskin, literally bullying children's appearances while claiming you want to protect them. This is the same guy that has never shown his own face, by the way, so this clearly stems from insecurity. Regardless, targeting a child's looks is just cowardly. He also briefly nicknamed Toon Toonler. On another occasion, when asked if he'd care if Visper took his own life due to him, Somerandomapnerd said he'd smile, knowing he fulfilled a dead one's mission, and knowing that Visper would be in a better place called hell. He also said that Visper has to die, for all of our own good. Saying all of this over Visper taking his fans, by the way. Beyond disgusting. Keep in mind, Somerandomapnerd has never had anything over 386 subscribers, so he barely lost anything in the first place. He's acting as if it's Visper that permanently ruined him, but if he actually had chosen to take the mature route, apologize for his actions, and grow from it, he could have gotten those subscribers back, maybe even more than he originally had. When this all started, yes, he had done bad things. But they were reversible. Things that could have been repaired with a genuine apology, and showing that you actually want to improve. It was truly that simple. Instead, he decided to do the most corrupt things he could think of and cause irreparable damage to his reputation in the name of revenge, because he was too prideful to admit to his mistakes. If you ask him, everyone mentioned here did something to deserve it, and all of his actions have some justification for it. Now, even if he wanted to, no amount of sorries would get him forgiveness from the people he was so desperate to win back. He escalated a minor situation into something major, and essentially self-destructed his own reputation. But acknowledging that would mean taking accountability, so it's easier for him to delude himself into believing that everything occurring currently is our fault. But something to ponder on for the people watching, maybe even Somerandomapnerd himself if he sees this. If everyone is telling you the same thing, the same critiques about your character, or everyone in general just seems to have a problem with you, and you're always ending up in feuds and similar situations, would it not potentially be time to realize that you might be the problem? It can only be someone else's fault, but so many times before you have to start doing some self-reflecting. Somerandomapnerd also claims to be a Catholic, so I think it's worth throwing in there that you can't do degenerate things and then hide behind God's name to make yourself feel better about how disgusting of a person you are. Reading the Bible and claiming to follow a belief system that you clearly don't follow, because it makes you sound and feel like a good person, doesn't actually make you a good person. He doesn't hold or practice any Catholic values, and that's very evident. I digress. Everything showcased in this video has proven that Somerandomapnerd is a morally bankrupt pervert who should not have a platform, if you can even call it that, of any kind, big or small. But before closing this video off entirely, I'd like to mention a few more things. Somerandomapnerd rarely confesses to his wrongdoings, so this is a very short section, but here are 2 instances where he has. If you remember earlier in the video, on Discord, Somerandomapnerd's display name was Zombo. Of course, this was to impersonate the actual Zombo, as shown when he was manipulating Visper. He then confessed that he only created the Zombo Discord account to fake the death of Zombo to trick Visper, which is just odd in itself. He apparently wanted to see if Visper would care. Zombo himself was even weirded out, asking why people were trying to impersonate him. And finally, in a DM with PonFromRussia while discussing the gore that he had sent to Toon, Pon said, "You literally just admitted you sent it to him," to which Somerandomapnerd responded, "Yes, I admit to it," followed by a smiling emoji. Yes, he is shamelessly admitting to sending gore to someone, and clearly feels absolutely no remorse for it. He even seems happy about it. He seems to genuinely think just being a horrible person makes him some sort of cool, heartless, calculated villain, when he's really just seen as pathetic by everyone around him. But now that we've covered mostly everything that needs to be covered, here's some additional important information that I think is worth mentioning, because it doesn't stop there. Somerandomapnerd owns a Roblox account by the name of @AgentSecretHider, the L is an I. Other videos have been made on Somerandomapnerd, such as this YouTuber @Somerandomapnerd is trying to make fake stuff about me, by YouTuber RiceY, made a year ago, so this isn't new behavior, which documents Apnerd's harassment towards him, and numerous other users on the YouTube platform, link in description. Apnerd's YouTube profile picture on his alternate account Royal Wing Links is modeled after the flag. The only difference being the is replaced with the Roblox Forsaken character 007N7's burger hat. Apnerd has stated that he finds the accusations of him being a child groomer funny. A screenshot of Apnerd in a Discord DM with PonFromRussia, asking who his next pawn should be, who he should target next, then listing a series of YouTubers he planned to take advantage of. Multiple comments that were left on Somerandomapnerd's posts and videos calling him out for being a predator have now been deleted, which only makes him look more guilty, if anything. Instead of deleting comments, challenge the accusations. Somerandomapnerd has shamelessly called his fans sheep for not siding with him in the past. Somerandomapnerd once hearted a comment advocating for MAP, minor attracted person pride. Very telling. If you've noticed, Somerandomapnerd seems to have a very weird fixation on Jeffrey Epstein and Adolf Hitler, and has frequently made Epstein Files/Nazi references. I mean, he has made 3 shorts that are basically just Jeffrey Epstein edits, and this guy's Discord profile picture is literally Hitler. Even that barely scratches the surface. I don't even mean this ironically, but I'm starting to think he genuinely idolizes those 2. Speaking of odd fixations, he seems to also have a very odd fixation on. He is always accusing others of watching it, calling them porn lovers, talking about genitalia, and has, of course, even sent people porn. I think someone genuinely needs to check this guy's hard drive. Somerandomapnerd claims that his Royals persona has bipolar, which explains why he was saying some of the things that he was saying on his Royals account, and thought he could get away with it. It was a caricatured version of how someone with bipolar disorder apparently acts. Somerandomapnerd claims to be in his 20s, which makes all of this even more concerning if that's true. Somerandomapnerd also has a weird savior complex. He paints himself as some angel that was sent down from heaven to protect the world from evil. When confronted about anything, he twists it to make it seem as if the action was done out of protection or care, and that nothing he ever does is in bad faith. He'll harass a child off the internet and claim they're safer now that he did what he did, since he got them away from the situation, so we should really be thanking him. And finally, it is worth mentioning that he never brought up this whole Visper is a predator thing, or honestly any of the allegations he's putting against us before he got exposed. He basically just deflects any accusation you throw at him back onto you, and will make it a point to paint you as that for weeks or months on end out of spite, and to take the attention off of his behavior, despite having no evidence, and whenever you ask for evidence, he'll find some excuse as to why he can't show it. Call him a predator, suddenly you're the real predator. Call him a blackmailer, suddenly you're the real blackmailer. Call him out for doxing children, now we're the real doxers. It's a cheap blame shift tactic that nobody is buying. Challenge for everyone watching, find anything about him calling any of us predators prior to 4 to 5 months ago, you won't. Now before I say my final message, there's one more topic that I need to cover, before he has time to twist the narrative. Apnerd typically tries to discredit or debunk our accusations facts/defend himself with these 4 arguments. 1. The original account that we made to spread awareness about his actions, Apnerd Files, was terminated, thus proving everything we're saying is fake. 2. We made a fake Discord account and made fake messages to defame him. 3. We started it, and drove him to this point, and that all of his actions are simply revenge, or him defending himself. And 4. We're worse than him. So, let's debunk all of these before he gets a chance to lie. Number 4. All of us are worse than him. Even if this was true, which it simply isn't and he has no proof besides easily debunkable screenshots, what he fails to realize is that us being bad people wouldn't suddenly make him a better person. It wouldn't suddenly justify his actions. The majority of his actions are completely indefensible regardless of the reason he did it. What justifies doxing a child? What justifies grooming a child? What justifies sexualizing children? Them being slightly mean to you? Disagreeing with you? Disrespectfully? Get a grip. None of us ever claim to be perfect people, but I can confidently say that none of us have done anything to this level. We have boundaries, he doesn't. Number 3, we started the situation and drove him to this point, and all of his actions are due to him being bullied, so it's revenge, horrible argument, and not much needs to be said about this one. He is literally using the but they started it to excuse his actions, and this has gone far past a simple argument, so who started it means nothing. Even if we did start it as he claims, what matters is not who started it, but the events that followed. And again, nothing we could have done justifies the majority of the things you've done. There is no justification for sending people gore, porn, grooming children, sexualizing children, doxing children, and being an overall pervert. If you still think that any of this can be justified with, but they were mean to me, you need to admit yourself to a mental hospital. Number 2, we made a fake Zombo_the op account, with a period at the start of the username, when his real username has no period, to impersonate and defame him. There are many ways to debunk this allegation, but we'll start with this. When SchoolWork himself was asked about who was sending him all of those messages, he said it was Zombo_the op, with no period, and that he had never even messaged or friended Zombo_the op account. He has also sent over 2,000 messages in the group chat, which is quite a lot of messages for someone who was never there. I could also include how the .zombo_the op account doesn't even exist. Additionally, considering the previously mentioned video that was made on Somerandomapnerd a year ago, accusing him of pretty much the exact same things that we're saying here, harassment and lying about others, I think it should be obvious we're not just pulling this out of thin air. It's not just 1 or 2 people. This isn't isolated. It's not even just people within our group saying this. Several different people have all had similar experiences with this man. It can't even be framed as they're just saying this because they don't like me, they're conspiring against me, etc., because we're not the only ones accusing him of these things. Isn't it also funny how each excuse contradicts the next? First, we drove you to this point and made you do these things, and the next second, you never did them at all because we're defaming you. It is also completely ludicrous to suggest that we'd spend months conspiring to take down and defame some slop Roblox channel with 400 subscribers. Until now, this situation was virtually unknown, so what do we gain from doing that? And finally, number 1, the original account that we made to bring light to his actions was banned for fraud, thus proving everything we're saying is fake. A few months ago, there was an account dedicated to advertising the Somerandomapnerd Files document called @apnerd Files. To make the account and situation more well known, they would go on a lot of videos commenting, usually replying to random comments with, "I exposed a bad person on my channel." The account managed to gain around 300 subscribers before its termination. The account was banned not for fraud, but for spam. Because of how many posts it was commenting under and how many comments it was leaving, especially in short amounts of time, it likely came across in YouTube's system as bot behavior, therefore they banned the account. YouTube rarely bans accounts for lying about someone, unless it crosses into harassment, cyberbullying, impersonation, or doxing. And even if any of these things were occurring, our channel would have had to been doing somewhat well to even be acknowledged by YouTube, since they rarely actually do anything until it gets out of control. Accounts this small usually fly under the radar. Yes, 300 subscribers is good, but it's barely anything in the grand scheme of things. Regardless, us making a document filled with things that he has said out of his own mouth, verifiably, violates none of these policies. Being outed publicly for being a bad person might embarrass you, but it doesn't change reality. But he continues to say that we were banned for fraud, as if the YouTube staff themselves examined the small situation, determined yeah, those guys are definitely lying, and then terminated us. Again, YouTube barely even issues bans for lying, unless it begins to violate their harassment or impersonation policies. Now that all 4 of his main arguments have been debunked, he'll likely start scrambling for a new excuse to justify himself, and it'll likely be just as horrible as the rest of these. With all of this being said, please do not go harass, engage with, or try and confront him yourself. You will get absolutely nowhere, and that is not why this video was made. People like this thrive on attention, and giving it to them only makes them want to go harder. Trust me, we've been trying for months. You will not get through to him and you'll be giving him exactly what he wants, attention. Good or bad, as long as the attention is on him, he loves it. It feeds into his delusions about being some super important celebrity. Even me making this video is probably grossly satisfying to him, but it truthfully had to be done. This video wasn't made to send droves of hate to his channel, but to spread awareness, make sure that no one even considers supporting this man ever again, and to finally end this and stop the narrative from being twisted. All that I ask is that you report his YouTube accounts, Somerandomapnerd and Royal_Winglinks, Discord account, Zombo_Theop, share this if you can, and move on with your day. There is not much more we can do than that, as of now. Again, do not go to his channel and engage. Do not try and take matters into your own hands, you will achieve nothing, and could even put yourself in harm's way. This man is very clearly not mentally stable, and nothing you say will reach him. As mentioned earlier, this is hardly even a drama anymore. It has done significant harm to people, and entered criminal grounds. Sending children gore is illegal. Sending children porn is illegal. Grooming is illegal. This man is a predator. This isn't some silly little drama, and this is not a debatable topic. There is an objectively wrong side in this situation, and if you choose to stand behind him even after all of this, you'll be getting side eyes as well. Even if you don't support us for whatever reason. Supporting him should not be the default. Thank you very much for your attention if you watched this far, it is heavily appreciated. I will give an update if anything new surfaces, and goodbye.